We're live from the Southern California desert here at historic Palm Springs Stadium for what could be a really, really significant Canadian matchup with playoff implications. I'm Evan Schmeiser, joined by Jacob Kronberg. It's the British Columbia Bombers taking on the Toronto Rush. Two Canadian division teams who have not played yet this season. They're going to play twice over the course of the final week in the CWL regular season. The Bombers come in at 5-5. And one. That one tie could be really significant. The Toronto Rush also come in an even 500 at 5-5. At the moment, these are the third and fourth seeds in the Canadian division. And whoever loses this game could very well likely fall to the fourth seed for the playoffs. And that means they have to play an extra game against the Manitoba North Stars, who will likely finish as the fifth seed. Essentially a play-in game with a 4-5 seed matchup in the Canadian division for the CWL playoffs. A lot on the line, Jacob.
Every game in these last couple of days is going to mean a lot, and it starts right here. Two teams that both sit with 5 wins. They both sit with 5 losses, but the Bombers, they have a tie on the record, and I'm very interested to see how that tie plays out. Does it favor them? Does it hurt them come playoff week?
You mentioned that a few times, Jacob. Manuel Ochoa draws start for the Rush, and the first pitch to Aaron Hurd is on the outside corner for strike one. We're underway at Palm Springs Stadium. 10:02 in the morning for the first pitch. Another beautiful day at Palm Springs Stadium. 57 degrees. Actually, make that 64 degrees at the moment, as the next pitch is outside a ball and a strike.
I would say it's way too warm out to be in the 50s right now.
Yeah, it has been beautiful over the past week. Ochoa working exclusively out of the stretch in a check swing. Checked on the first, no swing. 2-1 the count. We'll take a quick look at the Bombers lineup, ladies and gentlemen. Aaron Hurd's at the plate at the moment. Ethan Kleinheider will bat second, followed by Steve Snowden. Tanner White gets the start in the cleanup spot, followed by Darius Simple. Matt Holliday, coming off an impressive game yesterday against the Power, hits 6. That's foul tipped at home plate, 2-2 the count. Garrett Gonzalez bats 7. Vincent Bruce, the designated hitter, will hit 8th, followed by the catcher Harrison Fullerton, batting 9th.
You hit on it, Evan. The name to spotlight right there. Big old number 25, Matthew Holliday. What an offensive showcase he put on yesterday. He helped attribute to 6 runs, I believe it was, for the British Columbia Bombers.
Swing and a miss on a high fastball by Aaron Hurd. One quick out in the first for Ochoa. That baseball, the Holiday, Jacob, has got to be looking like a beach ball at the moment.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you look back to yesterday where the Bombers put up 15 runs, 20 hours ago? First inning, Matt Holliday hit a ball in the screws. That was booted by a defender. 2 runs came in. Then he hit a 2-run single. Then he had a sacrifice fly. And then he capped off the day, with an RBI triple.
First pitch taken on the outside corner to Ethan Kleinheider. 0-1 the count to him. I mean, even the error he reached on was hit on an absolute rope out to second base. Just everything off the bat of Holiday seems like it's a missile.
He's tattooing things right now.
Kleinheider's behind in the count, 0-2 to Ochoa, who's making just his second start of the year, the 5th game he's pitched in overall. He's gone 8 2/3 innings, 6.46 ERA. He's been good with the walks, so only 2 walks to go with the 8 strikeouts. That's up and away, 1-2 the count. Bombers lineup today coming in hitting .253, coming off a 15-5 drub against the Power. So that's off the end of the bat. On one hop to Chi-Wan-Ku, off his glove at first, tries to recover, unable to do so. Ended up falling down, trying to make the play from his backside. We'll get the scoring decision to you in just a moment, ladies and gentlemen. And it will go down as an error. E4 to Chi-Wan-Ku leads to a 1-out base runner for the Bombers in the top of the first in the scoreless ball game. That'll bring up the third man, Steve Snowden. He'll get the start at shortstop. He'll settle into the left-handed batter's box. And the Rush will look to turn 2. Big hole on the right side. First pitch swinging is Snowden. It's out to center field. Kevin Johnson into the left center field alleyway. He puts it away. Going back to first is Kleinheider. 2 outs in the top of the first. And good-looking start for Ochoa on the mound. Commanding his pitches at the moment. Just the second start of the season, as I mentioned a moment ago, and a big one at that. 2 teams virtually tied in the division, and they'll play on the final day of the regular season, Tuesday, 9 a.m. on the turf. As that's in the dirt, Kleinheider tries to go to second. He'll get in there sliding. Good base running from the speedy Kleinheider. He'll advance on the wild pitch.
Got a great jump, read the ball in the dirt, and just took off. Lolo Williams, with that perfect throw, made things a lot closer than I expected them to be off the break Kleinheider had.
And it does put a man in scoring position for White and the Bombers. In a scoreless game, 2 outs in the top of the first. Here's the 1-0. Swung on, hit foul into the screen. Pretty good hack from White. Tanner White hitting an even 200. 4 for 20 overall with a double and 4 RBIs. As Ochoa steps off.
He drove in a run yesterday, as most of the batters did in the British Columbia lineup. They saw 11 different guys reach base.
That's off the hands, fouled left side, over the bleachers towards the parking lot. The Bombers, they took advantage of a lot of walks and hit batters from power pitching, but they were seeing the ball pretty well. Saying they saw it pretty well is probably an understatement, too.
They had a field day offensively. From the get-go. Started with 6 runs in the first, capped it off with 5 runs in the last inning.
The 1-2 is cut on and missed. White goes after a high fastball, second strikeout of the inning for Ochoa. He retires the side. No runs, no hits, a man left coming off the error by Chi-Wan Koo. We'll go to the bottom of the first, and we'll see Nick Galatis and the Bombers get to work. We go to the bottom of the first inning, CWL fans. We'll see the Rush take their turn up to bat. They'll take on Nick Galatis, who gets the start for the Bombers. It'll be the 5th game he's pitched in, 4th start overall. He comes in 2-2, a 3.12 ERA over 15 and 2/3 innings. He scoured a lot of base runners despite the 3.12 ERA. His last outing came on the 6th of February against the Chill, suffering a 4-0 defeat. He was pretty good. He went 4 innings, just 2 earned runs to his credit, scattering 3 hits and a couple walks. Bombers could use an excellent start from him today, trying to get above 500 and avoid that play-in game in the first round of the playoffs. Swing at the first pitch and fouling it back is Howard Rodriguez. With that said, we'll take a look at the Rush starting lineup. Rodriguez is at the plate leading off, followed by Anthony Lipsy, the third baseman. Michael Cooper gets to start batting third and right, as that's outside 1-1. Matt Crossley hits cleanup, followed by Kevin Johnson. Austin De La Cruz hits 6th. Noah Lashley, who does it all, gets the start as the designated hitter, hitting 7th. Lola Williams, the catcher, bats 8th. So that's on the inside corner for a called strike 2. Chi-Wan Koo, the second baseman, will bat 9th to round out the order.
This is a Rush team that's really turned things around, playing a lot better ball after their 4-game losing skid.
That's off the hands. Humpback liner caught by Holiday at first. 1 quick out. Yeah, they come in winning back-to-back games. One might think that new manager Reed Lavallee might have stabilized the ship, getting a good idea of his of all his guys after a little bit of a learning curve, perhaps, kind of getting in and having to play a game right off the bat. Now trying to get his team hot going into the playoffs, as that's up and in to Anthony Lipsy. This is a rush lineup coming in, hitting .252. Goliath working out of the windup, misses inside again, 2-0 the count. Lipsy hitting an even 300, 6 for 20, one double, a couple ribbies. He's looking to get on base with one out, nobody on in the bottom of the first in a scoreless game. So that's off the end of that, trickled up the third base line, it'll go foul. A real nice crowd on hand, given that it's the opening inning for our first ball game. Several short sleeves going all around. Should get into the low to mid 70s today, as that's high. 3-1 the count. The return throw to Galatas got away for a moment. Steve Snowden is there to return it to him. It's a full day here at Palm Springs Stadium. The Power and the Blue Sox opening things up on the turf fields. That's skied high in the air to right center. Simple over into the alleyway. He makes the call and the catch. 2 outs in the bottom of the first. 2 up, 2 down for Galatas. And the second turf game of the day will be the Chill and the Lumberjacks. And 30 minutes after we finish up here with the Bombers and the Rush, it'll be the Manitoba North Stars and Alberta Grizzly. First pitch, Michael Cooper is on the outside corner for a called strike. Cooper, can't say enough about him. 400 coming into today, 7 RBIs. And he rips that ball high in the air to right center field. Might have just gone under a little bit, though, as Aaron Hurd has him played perfectly. So he moves a couple steps to his right. 3 up, 3 down, go the Toronto Rush in their half of the first. Good inning from Galatas. We go to the second at Palm Springs Stadium in a scoreless ball game. Moment. 5, 6, 7 due up for the Bombers. It'll be Darius Simple, the all-world Matt Holliday, and Garrett Gonzalez to get us started. Manuel Ochoa back out for his second inning of work. He had to work around a one-out base runner in the first inning coming off of an error. We sit scoreless between two teams trying to avoid the play-in game on the opening day of the playoffs coming on Thursday the 16th. Simple able to work ahead 1-0 in the count. Came in late in yesterday's ball game off the bench. He gets the start. That evens the count 1-1. The Rush defense playing straight up. Flags are calm in center field as Simple's behind 1-2 in the count. A good breaking ball.
And Ochoa's looked good early. He's filling up the strike zone, and that first inning zero is so important against how hot this Bombers team has been offensively.
That's up and in 2-2. And I've said it a couple times, the parity all the way around in the league. You got one team who dominated one day, and then the next day we've seen him blanked. That's on the outside corner for a called strike 3. Good fastball from Ochoa. He gets simple looking. And that brings up Matt Holliday. He had an excellent day. Couple hits yesterday, including a triple. Drove in 5 runs. And that puts him up as the league leader in RBIs with 10 coming into today. And he's out in front of a breaking ball behind 0-1. Looking for the first hit between either team. The only base runner coming on, Kleinheider reaching on an error. But Holliday's behind 0-2 as he hits someone foul at home plate.
Yeah, Holliday's been very impressive, especially as of late. You mentioned the league leading RBIs with 10, but the 5 extra base hits of his 11 hits is what really impresses me.
Here's the 0-2. Gets him out in front. Matt Holliday goes down on 3 pitches. Back-to-back breaking balls, 3rd consecutive strikeout from Manuel Ochoa going back to the first.
And Ochoa's got 4 of them in the game, and this is a guy who was a little under a strikeout an inning coming in. 8 strikeouts in 8 2/3. He's got 4 in an inning and 2/3. Finding that put-away pitch a little better right now.
Absolutely. The breaking ball is looking pretty good at the moment. He had a good hitter in Holliday, fooled up there. Swinging at the first pitch and into right field off the bat of Garrett Gonzalez. Down the line, Cooper over to get it. Big turn from Gonzalez. He'll hold up at first. The strong throw from Cooper to the cutoff man, Koo. Oh, first hit of the day for either side and a rope to right field from Gonzalez.
Look, I'm surprised we haven't seen more British Columbia players attack that first pitch. Been a lot of pitch 1 heaters. Ochoa's filling up the zone. That's going to be one of the better pitches you're going to see before he tries to stretch out that strike zone.
And the way he has the breaking ball working, you do not want to fall behind him at the moment. Taking on the outside corner is the designated hitter, Vincent Bruce. Bruce is 3 for 17 overall, no extra base hits, 4 RBIs. As he's behind 0-2. The line drive off the bat of Gonzalez came off at 94 miles per hour. Well, we knew he smoked it. Thanks, Cordell. The 0-2 slide step, swung on and missed. Ochoa has that strikeout pitch working, already his 5th of the day. As he's through 2, he strikes out the side in the top of the 2nd. We're through 1.5 on the CWL YouTube, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks so much for joining us. We're back for the bottom of the 2nd inning here at Palm Springs Stadium. I'm Evan Schmeiser, joined by Jacob Kronberg. 4-5-6 coming up for the Rush. Matt Crosley takes a strike on the outer half, behind 0-1. Nick Galatis back out for his 2nd inning. He works ahead 0-2 on another good fastball. Retired the side in order in the 1st. So we sit scoreless between the Bombers and the Rush. both coming in virtually tied. And Crossley goes down on 3 pitches. He goes after a high fastball. First strikeout of the day for Galatas, and he's looking sharp early.
Yeah, this is the best I think we've seen Nick Galatas look. 5th appearance, 4th start. He's a guy who was hit around a little bit, but has limited the runs when guys have gotten on base. Right now, he's just not letting dudes on base.
He's commanding his pitches well and getting ahead with the fastball. Swing at the first pitch is Kevin Johnson. Back to Gonzalez over towards the middle. And safe is the call at first base. It was bang, bang. Kevin Johnson, who can fly, was busting it the entire way. He's on with an infield single. I did not think that play was going to be as close as it was.
Yeah, ball really slowed up. I think Galatas may have deflected that ball just a little bit to slow it down. And when you've got a second baseman and Gonzalez moving to his right, forced to throw off the back foot and just not enough juice to get to Speedy Johnson.
There goes Johnson, the first pitch. Pitch called a strike. Throw down is on a hop and off the glove of Snowden, backed up by Gonzalez. 8th stolen base of the season for Kevin Johnson. He picked up what was only his 3rd hit of the year, but when Johnson gets on base, he is dangerous.
Yeah, he can really run. This is an athletic outfield that the Rush have put out today with Johnson, De La Cruz, and Cooper.
The 0-1 pitch is swung on and hit foul to the right side into Sunrise Park. Austin De La Cruz falls behind 0-2. An RBI chance for De La Cruz and the Rush. In a scoreless ball game in the bottom of the 2nd. Long look in from Galatas. Nobody holding the runner at 2nd. Both middle infielders somewhat pinched towards the middle as Galatas steps off. 0-2, 1 out. Johnson over at 2nd after he had an infield single and stole 2nd. Here's the pitch. Swung on and fouled at home plate off the catcher Fullerton. He looks to be okay, but they'll give him just a few extra moments to gather himself. Always a good courtesy that catchers and home plate umpires have with one another. As the home plate umpire walks the ball back out to Galatas, he'll take a short walk around the mound. And De La Cruz will dig back into the box, staring down an 0-2 count from Nick Galatas. Trying to get the Rush on the board in this pivotal Canadian Division matchup. Galatas now comes set. Short lead off 2nd from Johnson, who is dancing around just a little bit. Breaking ball off the hands, fought off the 3rd base line. Kleiner charges, throws on the run. In time. Excellent play by Kleinheider, who made that look extremely smooth. And up to 3rd goes Johnson, 2 away in the bottom of the 2nd.
Yeah, that's a difficult angle because you're not directly charging. You're also not cutting a ball off to your left. It's a weird angle darting toward the mound. And Kleinheider to field, step, and throw at an awkward angle off 1 foot, all in that same motion, and get a pretty good throw across the diamond to get a speedy guy in De La Cruz.
And that brings up Noah Lashley, the designated hitter. He swings the first pitch, hits it softly over to first baseman Holiday. He'll win the race to the bag. Galatas able to work out of a jam, allowing an infield single to Johnson. A stolen base later, he leaves him over at 3rd base. We're through 2 full on the CWL YouTube in a scoreless game between the Bombers and the Rush.
9-1-2 due up in the order for the British Columbia Bombers in a scoreless game between the Bombers and the Rush. Alongside Evan Schmeiser, I'm Jacob Kronberg, and welcome in to Palm Springs Stadium. No score, top of the third. Manuel Ochoa working exclusively out of the stretch today, misses outside and low with a fastball for ball one to Harrison Fullerton. Right on right the matchup to the BC catcher, who goes after the 1-0, flares it into center field, and it's down for a base hit. Charging is Johnson. He'll toss in as Fullerton is aboard with a leadoff single.
Yeah, and this could be a big potential for a rally for the Bombers, especially getting the 9-man on. The way Ochoa and Gladys have looked so far on the mound, this could come down to who executes with men on base the best, who's able to manufacture runs and move runners.
Fullerton, listed as a catcher today, runs well. This is a guy who fascinates me in his defensive abilities. Throw over to first, and Fullerton dives back in safely.
He's a tremendous overall athlete.
Well, yesterday we saw him absolutely pick it at shortstop.
Yes.
And today he's going to catch what is going to be a very clean ball game. Not a lot of guys can do both of those at a high level. As Aaron Hurd skies one into foul territory on the right side, Cooper over, and he watches it land just shy of the fence for strike one. We've seen guys pitch and play the outfield, pitch and play the infield. See guys catch and play first base. Those are the matchups, the mixing and matching we see in the CWL. But shortstop and catcher is unconventional, Evan.
It really, really is. And to go along with a good base runner.
He's running here. Fastball misses up. Throw down to second. A dart from Lolo Williams. Gets Fullerton, who didn't have the best jump. But Lolo showing off the shoot, and Fullerton cut down off the bases for out number one.
Not a bad idea to take off by any means, but as you mentioned, Jacob, not a good jump. And Ochoa, he is pretty quick to home plate. He does a decent job of varying his timing to home plate. And Williams, he throws well. Not a good combination for Fullerton.
So now 1 out, nobody on. 2-1 pitch to Hurd, waved at and missed. Tight slider from Ochoa on the outer half. Ochoa kicks and goes. Fastball misses up and out. 2 balls and 2 strikes the count to Aaron Hurd, who went down swinging to begin the ball game. No score, top of the third. Between a couple of teams fighting for that third seed in the Canadian division. 2-2 skied into shallow right field. Out goes Lashley. In comes the right fielder Cooper, who will track it down in stride, moving toward the right field line. 4 out, number 2. So the leadoff single by Fullerton, he's erased on the caught stealing. A fly out and out, a chance for Ochoa to face the minimum in this third inning, but he's got to get through Ethan Kleinheider. Kleinheider hit a soft line drive that short-hopped Lashley at second base in the opening inning. It was booted, and Kleinheider reached. Ochoa out of the stretch in his first pitch fastball. Runs upstairs for ball one. Kleinheider holds the hands high, wiggles the bat, slightly open stance, and he ducks out of the way of the 1-0 fastball. 2-0 the count to Ethan Kleinheider. Who comes to town from Edwardsville, Illinois. Ochoa's 2-0. Line to third, and misplayed by Lipsy. Goes off the heel of his glove, trickling into foul territory, chasing after it is Rodriguez, who gets there quick enough to keep Kleinheider aboard. On the error, a line drive right to the positioning of Anthony Lipsy, the third baseman, and I think he might have had that glove turned the wrong way because it just chopped off his heel and went off into foul territory.
They don't call it the hot corner for nothing, especially the way the ball was spinning off the bat of Kleinheider, but that's a ball that if you're a third baseman in Lipsy, you need to make that play.
So Ethan Kleinheider aboard both times on a couple of errors. And Steve Snowden, the shortstop, goes after the first pitch and fouls it back into the netting for strike one.
And if Kleinheider's able to get a jump, it wouldn't be a bad idea to try and steal a base. I know he hasn't attempted one this season, but 2 outs in the middle of the lineup, that's a good time to do it.
Well, Ochoa thinking that as well. He tosses it over to first, and a step and a dive as Kleinheider's back in safely. Steve Snowden, who closed out yesterday's win on the mound, gets the start at shortstop today. 0-1. Lifted. Down the left field line into foul territory. It tails, and nobody gets there. Good effort by Lipsy, the third baseman, as well as the left fielder, De La Cruz. But just too much ground to cover. However, Steve Snowden in an 0-2 deficit. No score, top of the third, between the Bombers and the Rush. Snowden from Carson, California, just 19 years young. Ochoa bends at the hip, looking in for the sign, now sets letter high. Short leg kick, runner goes, fastball misses up, throw to second from Williams. Off the glove of a covering Rodriguez. Williams would have had another one in the books.
Yeah, once again, really strong throw from Lolo Williams. And give credit to Ochoa, keeping the runner close. I like the idea of Kleinheider taking off, not a very good jump, and that should have been another caught stealing for Williams.
So now Kleinheider in scoring position. Rodriguez holds him on. 1-2 home, and Snowden barely gets a piece of it, chopping it foul around home plate.
And these are the situations I talked about at the top of this frame. Manufacturing, you got a runner in scoring position. Who's going to get the big hit with men on second or third base?
Ochoa's next 1-2 misses well upstairs, forcing Williams to leap out of his crouched position and keep it in front. BC looking to break the ice in the top of the third. A check to Kleinheider. Delivery home. Snowden laces it into right field, but right at Michael Cooper. Played at perfect depth, and Cooper makes the catch to end the inning. Once again, Manuel Ochoa puts up a 0, working around a defensive miscue from his infield. We're through 2.5. No score between the Bombers and the Rush on the CWL YouTube. Lolo Williams leads off the home third for Toronto. No score between the Rush and the Bombers as Williams takes a fastball up and in from Nick Gladys for strike one. We're at ball one. Gladys working quickly. 1-0 bounce to the left side. Sneaks through the hole for a base hit. Both Kleinheider and Snowden went after it. Neither could get there. And it's a leadoff single for Lolo Williams and the Rush in business.
That ground ball just had eyes off the bat of Williams. Not hit particularly hard, but hit it in the perfect spot. And if you're Gladys, I like his tempo a lot. I like that he's attacking the strike zone with fastballs. No need to change anything.
So Williams aboard, nobody out for Chi Wan Koo. He takes a fastball low, ball one. So each side began their offensive half of the third with a leadoff single. BC couldn't capitalize. Ken Toronto. Koo bounces the 1-0 foul behind home plate.
We've also seen Galatas and Ochoa do a pretty good job of working around some base runners, some trouble with men in scoring position.
Bell tie set for Galatas. The 1-1 misses down and out. Ball two. Chi Wan Koo from Taipei City, Taiwan. Played in the 2018 Arizona Fall League, so not his first time in the States. Loses the bat, ground ball to second. Fielded cleanly to second for one. Over to first, double play as the entire bat made it onto the pitching mound. I don't know if the barrel barely broke down at the handle, but so much went flying it seemed like he let the bat slip out of his hands.
Exactly. I've rarely, if ever, seen a bat break like that. It looks like one of those situations where you might as well have not even hit the ball and the barrel just comes flying off. We've seen several broken bats where the barrel just goes racing out towards the pitcher's mound. And just a ton of broken bats in general.
Guys are getting sawed off inside as these arms try to establish the inside part of the strike zone. So similar to what we saw in the top half of the inning, the leadoff base runner is erased. This time via the double play, and we go back to the top of the Toronto order. In a scoreless ball game, it's Howard Rodriguez. Lined out to first to begin things. The 1-0. Lined into straightaway center field. Going back, Simple reaches up, and he makes the catch in stride to end the inning. Nick Galatas faces the minimum, and we are through three full. 0-0 between the Bombers and the Rush. It's the heart of the British Columbia order due up in the top of the fourth. No score between the Bombers and the Rush. Jacob Kronberg, Evan Schmeiser here as Tanner White digs in against Manuel Ochoa and takes a big swing at the first pitch, changeup bouncing it foul for strike one. So the Bombers coming off their best offensive output of the season yesterday, scoring 15 runs over just 7 innings against the Palm Springs Power. Today, through 3 innings, they've been blanked.
And this is not the first time we've seen a team just annihilate their opposition offensively, then come in the next day, face a pitcher who's giving a really strong performance, and get blanked or close to it.
1-1 to White, driven out toward left field. Going back, De La Cruz. And a few strides in front of the warning track, he makes the catch for out number 1. Look, if there's a part of the order to get you going offensively, it's what the Bombers have to up. It's White, Simple, and Holiday. As Simple stands in with one out and the base is empty. A 0-0 ball game. Haven't had too many of those. Ochoa working center cut of the rubber. Let her high set. First pitch bounced up the middle. Behind the bag, Rodriguez. Field spins, throws. Won't get enough on it. Was going to be a base hit all the way for the speedy Darius Simple. But how about the range of Rodriguez to even get that ball?
That was impressive. I thought that was surely going to go through the middle. Way too much speed from Simple, even if Rodriguez picked that ball up cleanly. Something to keep an eye on. We're seeing more and more early swings from these offenses, especially the second time through, attacking the fastball. Not hitting the ball particularly hard, but they're putting the ball in play a lot. I think that's going to become a factor later on.
When you've got guys like Ochoa and Gladys who are just around the strike zone a lot, jump that first pitch when the offense isn't going. Maybe you put a charge into one. First pitch misses up to Matt Holiday, ball one. The 1-0 offering on the inner half, called strike. Simple off of first, just one stolen base on the season in one try. A short lead as Crosley holds him on. Ochoa, a throw over. Good move, but Simple just back in time.
Out of everyone in the league, Ochoa's got to be towards the top as far as holding runners on. Good move. He's quick to the plate, and it helps he has Williams back there.
There goes the slide step and a little chin music to Matt Holiday. 2-1 the count to the BC Slugger. Right on right the matchup. 2-1 bounced up the middle. Rodriguez behind the bag, flips to second for one. Lashley's return to first, not in time.
That was a fantastic play by Howard Rodriguez. I mean, that ball took a crazy hop once it hit the dirt at the very end, kind of in between, and flipping it to the side as he's flying past the second base bag. Just tremendous job to get the lead runner.
He's been impressive, especially moving to his left up the middle. So Holiday takes the place of Simple on first now with two down. It's Garrett Gonzalez. First pitch fastball on the outside corner, called strike one. Gonzalez laced a single into right field back in the second. Still no score between the Rush and the Bombers as Gonzalez swings over a good breaking ball for strike two. Gonzalez holds the hands real high, that elbow angled toward us in the booth as he goes after the 0-2, fouling it back.
Heard a few fans below us, I think, maybe a little nervous about where that foul ball was going. Maybe they parked a little closer to home plate than they might have preferred.
Another 0-2 pitch. Swung on and missed, strike three. Busted him in with the fastball. And once again, Manuel Ochoa working around a base runner as he is through 4 scoreless innings for the Rush. We're halfway home, scoreless between Toronto and British Columbia. Anthony Lipsy leads off the home fourth for the Toronto Rush as he spins out of the way of an inside breaking ball for ball one. Gladys working quickly out of the windup, and he misses inside once again. No score between Toronto and British Columbia. 2-0 offering. Hit to straightaway center field, moving to his left goes Simple. They're in plenty of time to make the catch for out number one. Nick Gladys, as good as we've seen him thus far in the CWL. He's given up just 2 hits over now 3 1/3 innings.
He looks like he's just playing catch out there. Gets the ball right back on the mound, firing it back in. Easy breezy.
First pitch, fastball misses to Michael Cooper. The smooth swinging left-handed hitter. 1-0, misses away, ball 2. Cooper, who has professional experience in the Cleveland organization, was with them when they were then the Indians, now the Guardians. He's a tall, lanky left-hander. And he takes a fastball on the inner half, strike 1. Throw back, gets away from Gladys, and his third baseman, Kleinhardt, will chase it down for him. Right on left the matchup, Gladys with the arms extended in front. 2-1 pitch in the dirt. Hops over the right shoulder of Fullerton, and it's a 3-1 hitter's count to Michael Cooper. The infield leans slightly to the right side as Kleinhardt, the third baseman, plays off the line. The first baseman, Holiday, on it. 3-1 pitch misses inside, and a 1-out walk issued to Michael Cooper. The first walk issued by either starting pitcher.
And that's really, really impressive. No walks until we get to the bottom of the 4th inning. Once again, the Rush, they're able to get a base runner and a good athlete in Michael Cooper at first. You have the middle of the lineup coming up. Who's going to cash in first with these opportunities with men on base?
Well, Matt Crosley's sure going to try right now. The cleanup hitter for the Rush. First pitch, Crosley lines it down the left field line, hooking foul. Tried to jump that first pitch breaking ball and was a little ahead of it.
It was a good idea from Crosley. That pitch definitely caught more of the middle of the plate than Gladys would have preferred. He got away with one.
There's some slight wind in the air blowing from right to left across the outfield. Throw over to first, and Cooper back into the bag, standing up. Middle infield pinches in double play depth. Gladys ready from the belt. Cooper runs. Breaking ball in there. Fullerton's throw to second. In time. High throw. Good tag from Gonzalez. And Harrison Fullerton guns down Michael Cooper for out number 2.
Goodness, the catcher play in this ballgame has been outstanding. Just strong throws down to second, and I was getting ready to say it too, Jacob. Excellent tag from Gonzalez. That was quick.
2 outs now. And the 1-1 to Crosley in there for a called strike 2. Good work with the knee-high fastball. Gladys works quickly. 1-2 breaking ball, misses low and away. Nice job by Crosley to leave it alone. Right on right the matchup. The outfield plays deep. 2-2 pitch. Swung on and missed. Strike 3. Blew the low fastball past him. And in unconventional fashion, Nick Gladys works against the minimum in the home 4th. We're going to the 5th inning. Still no score between the Toronto Rush and the BC Bombers when we return. 8-9-1 in the order due up for the BC Bombers in a scoreless game against the Toronto Rush. Vincent Bruce goes after the first pitch breaking ball and swings over it. 4 strike 1. Jacob Kronberg, Evan Schmeiser coming to you live from Palm Springs Stadium. Ochoa's 0-1. Foul tipped into the mitt of Lolo Williams, and quickly ahead, 0-2 is Manuel Ochoa. The right-hander sets from the letters. 0-2 pitch. Foul tipped, hung onto by Lolo Williams. Good morning, good afternoon, and good night to Vincent Bruce. Starts Ochoa's 5th inning.
That's really good heads-up pitching from Ochoa on the mound and especially Williams behind the plate. Seeing that Bruce was just outmatched on the fastball, didn't try to do anything too cute, go right back to what's working. Also,
Manuel Ochoa, who had 8 strikeouts coming into today on the season, has 7 through the first 4 1/3.
He's having a day.
Best performance to date on the bump. First pitch breaking ball. Dives into the zone against Harrison Fullerton for a called strike 1. Fullerton singled to kickstart the 3rd, then was caught stealing. The 0-1, slow roller to the left side. Charging, Rodriguez throws on the move and gets Fullerton by half a step. Lipsy initially tried to cut that off, the third baseman. Rodriguez called for it. Lipsy then kind of slid out of the way to leave a clean throwing path.
That's a real professional play we just saw from Rodriguez at short. He's had a really nice day out there. That's not an easy play. Coming in towards the hole and a softly hit ground ball from a pretty good athlete going up the line in Fullerton, but he was composed, and he made it look like a much easier play.
You just wanted to put those 2 adjectives into one word.
Yes,
I get it. We're all there. Back to the top of the order. For the Bombers, Aaron Hurd takes a fastball away, ball 1. Still no score between the Rush and the Bombers. You can feel the pre-playoff atmosphere between these 2 teams, hoping to avoid that 4-5 matchup in the Canadian division as Hurd takes a big swing over the breaking ball for strike 1. Hurd 0 for 2. The 1-1 misses in the dirt and skips back to the screen. Hurd from Hazel Crest, Illinois. Played his college ball at Kansas Wesleyan University as he watches a fastball cross at the eyes for ball 3. So we saw Nick Galatis issue his first walk of the ball game. In the last half inning, Ochoa has now issued a 3-ball count for the first time today. 3-1 pitch. Driven deep to left field. Going back, De La Cruz at the track. He looks up. See you later. A solo home run for Aaron Hurd. And in unbelievable fashion, we've got our first run of the ball game. The Bombers in front 1-0. Thanks to Aaron Hurd's solo shot to left.
Absolute titanic, majestic home run coming from Aaron Hurd. That was high off of that building over by the left field line as well. Probably went a good 380 feet. I'm curious to see if Cordell's able to measure that. Really good piece of hitting. He got a 3-1 fastball. He did not miss it. Really aggressive swing.
We've got a 374 distance on that home run. 88 miles an hour off the bat with a 35-degree launch angle. Ethan Kleinheider lines one into straightaway center field. Played perfectly as Kevin Johnson to make the catch and end the inning. But Aaron Hurd stealing the show. No longer a shutout. It's 1-0. The Bombers leading the Rush as we go to the home fifth on the CWL YouTube. The British Columbia Bombers in front of the Toronto Rush 1-0, thanks to the Aaron Hurd solo shot to left. Toronto will now look to answer against Nick Galatis, who has been nothing short of impeccable through the first 4 innings. Just 2 hits allowed. He's walked a single batter, and he's ahead of Kevin Johnson. 0-1. 0-1, chopped foul into the Rush dugout, and Galatis quickly ahead, 0-2. That Aaron Hurd home run may have been our most majestic blast at the stadium this year, as Johnson chases a slider away for strike 3.
This will be a huge inning from Galatis. Obviously trying to pick up that shutdown frame, but you're facing the heart of the Rush lineup. They're looking to answer back, and a lot on the line.
First pitch fastball to Austin De La Cruz, laced over a leaping Snowden's head into left field. A bullet off the bat of De La Cruz, who's got his first hit of the game. And the tying run is aboard for Toronto, and as you mentioned, Evan, up to this point in the game, this is the most important half inning. We were scoreless through 4. Your team gives you the lead, and as Nick Galatis, you got to stay dialed in and continue to pitch like this is a 0-0 ball game. We've got a pinch hitter into the game for the Toronto Rush. Manuel Ochoa is going to hit for Noah Lashley. And this is something we expected. Lashley scheduled to come out of the bullpen today for Reed Lavalle. Throw over to first and back in safely De La Cruz.
It'd be a rare sight if Lashley did not come out of the bullpen, whether it's for the Rush or a different team.
Bouncer up the middle. Easy double play ball. Snowden taps on second. Throw to first. Gets Ochoa. And the 6-6-3 double play ends the inning. Big shutdown frame for Nick Galatis and the BC Bombers, who lead 1-0 as we go to the 6th on the CWL YouTube.
Out of nowhere, ladies and gentlemen, it's getting late in our first game, of the doubleheader on the CWL YouTube. Just over an hour of game time. We're set for the top of the 6th inning. Swinging at the first pitch is Steve Snow as that ball skied high in the air on the left side of the infield, and making the catch by his knee is Anthony Lipsy, kind of reaching down to get it. A quick first out for the new pitcher, Noah Lashley. First man out of the pen for the Rush. He's been a regular. A whopping 19 innings pitched. And when we saw him pick up a 3-inning save just a few days ago, he does it all, whether it's the infield, the outfield, and pitching for several different teams at times.
We were discussing before the game, Evan, because we knew Lashley was going to come into pitch today. Is he going to set a CWL appearance record?
That's a possibility. He works ahead 0-2 to Tanner White with 1 out in the top of the 6th. Bombers leading 1-0.
We have a few less games this year due to 9 teams instead of 10. So it's going to be tough.
Swung on and missed by White. He goes down on 3 pitches, a dancing breaking ball from Lashley, and 2 quick outs.
And we didn't have enough time to check the archives on the appearances quite yet. But one of our very own managers this year has got to be up there. Brian Kloppe, the manager of the Manitoba North Stars when he played here back in 2010, appeared in 14 games as a relief pitcher.
All in relief?
He told me he was a reliever. I'm quoting Coach Kloppe right there. He said he appeared in 14 games.
Wow, that's impressive. Simple does go around to that breaking ball. He's behind 0-2. That's
workhorse.
Yeah. That's a lot of games, and that's quite a specific role.
He was just coming out of the pen. He had a loose arm, was ready to go.
Here's the 0-2 from Lashley. Swung on and missed. Oh, beg your pardon, ladies and gentlemen. Looks like that was foul-tipped at home plate. I thought he had him for just a moment. There wasn't much of a sound, but it seems like everyone's in agreement down below on the foul tip. Got a little excited on behalf of Lashley. Here's the 0-2 once again. Ball's off the end of the bat, back through the middle, and a base hit in the center field just under the glove of Lashley. A 2-out base runner for the Bombers, their 5th hit of the day, as they look for some insurance. Leading 1-0, coming off of the home run from Aaron Hurd in the 5th. This is a man you want at the plate for the Bombers. It's Matt Holliday. Ochoa kept him quiet so far, striking out in the 2nd and reaching on the fielder's choice in the 4th. Swings the first pitch. It's lined over the glove of Rodriguez at shortstop in the left field. Big turnaround 2nd, goes simple, but he'll stop there. Back-to-back singles for the Bombers. They got something going with 2 outs.
Look, you'd love a second run. We've seen how quickly tides can change.
That could be everything. Gonzalez digs in. He's 1 for 2 with a single in the 2nd. That ball's up the middle. That's in for a base hit. Around 3rd is Simple. He's going to coast home. Going to 3rd is Holiday. The throw is not in time. RBI single, Garrett Gonzalez. 3 consecutive hits for the Bombers. They lead 2-0 in the top of the 6th.
That right there, Evan, that's what you call a 2-out rally.
That was just out of nowhere. Getting the first 2 outs quickly was Lashley, and then 3 singles. That's just how quickly the game can change. As we're going to have a pinch hitter for Vincent Bruce. Antoine Herndon Walker will dig in. But then on 1st and 3rd, 2 outs, Holiday was able to go from 1st to 3rd on the play. Chance for the Bombers to put up another insurance run, leading 2-0. And there goes the runner. Getting himself caught on a rundown is Gonzalez. And coming to the plate is Holiday, but the tag is applied in time, so no run scores for the Bombers. It was a good idea. Gonzalez took off for second base, got himself in a rundown, took a couple throws. Holiday took off for the plate. Not a good athlete, but not the quickest of runners. He was not able to score before Gonzalez got tagged out. But a productive inning for the Bombers. 3 consecutive 2-out singles. Played a run. The big one coming from Garrett Gonzalez. We go to the bottom of the 6th. It's Bombers 2 and the Rush nothing. We're set for the bottom of the 6th inning in a tremendous pitcher's duel at the moment. 8-9-1 coming up for the Rush. Lola Williams takes a fastball on the outer half. Galatas back out for his 6th inning of work, and he's ahead 0-2 on that ball that's trickled foul. Can't say enough from Galatas at the moment. 5 shutout innings, 3 hits allowed. He's worked around a couple base runners. That misses 1-2 the count. Just impressive all the way around. Only 1 walk. And he's still working quickly. Can hardly tell the difference what the score is. And he gets to strike out swinging. Applying the tag is Fullerton. 1 up, 1 down in the 6th. The Rush down to just 5 outs, trailing 2-0. Chi-Wan Koo will dig in for his second at bat. He bounced into a 4-6-3 double play back in the 3rd. The game between 2 Canadian division rivals trying to avoid the 4-5 play-in game in the opening day of the postseason. As Koo is ahead 2-0 as that fastball misses high. A monumental game at the moment. Beg your pardon, ladies and gentlemen. We do have a pinch hitter. It's LaRue Williams who hits in the 9 spot in place of Chi-Wan Koo. He's ahead 2-0 in the count. Make that 2-1 coming up empty on a fastball. Only 3 hits on the day for the Rush and a 2-2 count.
There is action up behind Nick Galatas right now. Jordan Schulefand throws in the pen.
Just in case, that just misses outside. 3-2 the count. Last thing Galatas wants is to give away a free base runner to the Rush. Here's the 3-2 with 1 out, nobody on. Swung on and missed. LaRue Williams comes off the bench. He goes down swinging. Back-to-back strikeouts for Nick Galatas. 2 outs in the 6th.
I mean, he just continues to shove. He knows what pitch he wants to throw. He knows where he wants to throw it. He's putting it right there and just getting it past guys.
He's been impressive. That being the 5th strikeout of the day. We go back to the top of the order. Rodriguez takes a breaking ball in the dirt. He lined out softly to first base his first time up and then hit a ball sharply to center for an out in the third. Here's the 1-0. Check swing, no swing, and that's low 2-0. Just impressive on the mound all the way around is Galatas. So he gets the called strike on a fastball on the inside corner. 2 outs, 2-1 the count, nobody on base. Galatas and the Bombers lead the rush 2-0. That's a little inside 3-1.
We saw our first stadium complete game yesterday with Neil Yascali going the distance.
That 3-1, big swing and a miss by Rodriguez. Looked like he was trying to cut the deficit in half with one swing. Goliath could very well go the distance. He looks very comfortable. Here's the 3-2. Foul tipped. And it's going to be a foul ball. Hard to tell for a moment Fullerton was able to hang on. He was not able to. Rodriguez stays alive. The rush, desperate for base runners. The 3-2 again. Breaking ball, that's outside, ball 4. Rodriguez is aboard, and the tying run comes to the plate in Anthony Lipsy.
Galatas had pitched 61 there.
Yeah, he really has made quick work of the rush lineup.
You look at the sheer amount of 1, 2, 3 innings. The caught stealing helps for sure.
First pitch to Lipsy. Swings, hits that one hard. On a couple hops to Snow at short, he goes the short way to second to retire the side. No runs, no hits. A man left for the rush. Nick Galatas. Awesome through 6 innings of shutout baseball. We go to the top of the 7th. The Bombers still out in front 2-0 over the rush. Welcome back to the Southern California Desert, CWL fans. I'm Evan Schmeiser, joined by Jacob Kronberg. It's the top of the 7th inning. 8-9-1 coming up for the Bombers. Antoine Herndon Walker, who came off the bench. He's going to continue his at-bat after Garrett Gonzalez was caught stealing to end the frame, trying to get himself in a rundown to play another run, unable to do so. Evens the count 1-1 on a foul tip into the glove of Williams. The Bombers leading 2-0. Able to put up an insurance run in the 6th. And, of course, the big home run from Aaron Hurd in the 5th on a titanic blast down the left field line. 2-1 the count to Herndon Walker. Noah Lashley back out for his 2nd inning of work, coming on in relief for Ochoa. But he's behind 3-1. No action in the Bomber bullpen. We can anticipate Galatas will try and go the distance. And a high strike called on Herndon Walker. Maybe a little bit above the belt. He did not like the call. Trying to give the Bombers a leadoff base runner to make the 7th inning a little easier for Galatas. That's it softly to the shortstop Rodriguez. Charges from the grass. Throws in time. Dazzling play by Howard Rodriguez. He's had himself a day at the shortstop spot for the rush. Beg pardon, ladies and gentlemen. There is a new shortstop on the field for the Rush. Freddie Latenci was able to make that play. He made it look smooth regardless. First pitch is a slow, eephus-looking curveball to Harrison Fullerton. It missed a little bit high. This time it goes with a fastball, and that's off the end of the bat, foul down the right field line and out of play over towards the batting cage. Fullerton singled in the third. He was erased on the caught stealing and grounded out to short in the fifth. He bats with one out and nobody on base. In the top of the seventh, his Bombers leading 2-0. That ball skied out to right field. And over to get it to put it away is Austin De La Cruz. He comes in to replace Michael Cooper. That brings up Aaron Hurd. He's one of the big men of the hour. His last at bat, that big home run to left field to open the scoring. One insurance run later in the sixth, his Bombers lead 2-0. He comes up empty on something slow coming out of the hands of Lashley, maybe trying to go to get his second home run of the day. Lashley working out of the stretch, and that misses outside 1-1. Two division rivals with a lot on the line. A virtual tie coming into today. 5 wins, 5 losses, and a tie for the Bombers. And the Rush, 5 wins, 5 losses without the tie. 2-1 the count to Hurd. The first of 2 games they'll play with less than a week to go in the regular season. Big swing from Hurd, but he pops it up right side on the infield. Crosley makes the call and the catch to retire the side. 3 up, 3 down, go the Bombers. We're through 6.5 at Palm Springs Stadium. Nick Galatis will get back to work trying to finish out this ballgame, leading 2-0 over the Rush. This is it, everybody. Bottom of the 7th inning. The Rush trailing 2-0. Nick Galatis and the Bombers trying to complete the shutout to move over 500. Toughest part of the order. Michael Cooper leads off. He checks his swing. Takes a little low. It's 2-0. Cooper walked his last appearance. He was caught stealing. So he's 0 for 1 overall. But he works ahead 3-0 as that fastball misses outside. Freddie Latenci will follow Cooper, and Kevin Johnson will hit third this inning. See if Cooper takes all the way. He swings. He comes up empty. A big swing as his chest ended up facing the first base bag by the end of it. Here's the throw from Galatis. Hit hard, flag down by Galatis. He fires it over the first, one quick out. Cooper hit that ball on one hop, a missile. A ball may have caught Galatis as opposed to him catching it. He gets a standing ovation from the crowd at Palm Springs Stadium as he makes the first out. Good Lord, Nick Galatis cannot go wrong today at Palm Springs Stadium. No runs, only 3 hits through 6 and a third. Latenci hits that off the end of the bat and fouls it into the screen. That was 90 miles per hour off the bat of Cooper, coming straight for Galatis. That 0-1 misses a little low, 1-1 the count. Latenci batting in Matt Crosley's spot in the cleanup position. He takes outside 2-1. Latenci came on to play shortstop last inning. He bats with 1 out and nobody on base in the last of the 7th, trailing 2-0 to the Bombers. Here's a pitch from Galatis, hit hard, past the diving Gonzalez in the center field, a base hit. The Toronto Rush have a life as they bring the tying run to the plate. Just their 4th hit of the day, but a much-needed one. We'll have a short meeting on the mound between Fullerton and Galatis. It brings up Kevin Johnson. Infield hit in the 2nd, a strikeout in the 5th.
Shulafan throwing in that bullpen just in case things start to get weary.
As the meeting concludes on the mound between Galatis and Fullerton, Johnson will dig in. The Bombers will look to turn 2 with Gonzalez and Snowden, 2 exceptional athletes in the middle of the infield. First pitch, that hits Johnson right in the middle of his back. So he'll trot over the first. The baseball ended up a third of the way up the first base line, just barely in fair territory. And now here comes Tom Vaith out of the Bombers' dugout. What is he going to do? And it looks like he has taken the ball out of Galatis' hand. He leaves with a standing ovation from the Palm Springs Stadium faithful. We'll be back in a moment, ladies and gentlemen, with a new pitcher for the Bombers. Men on first and second for the Rush, 1 out, trailing 2-0. Major drama in the last of the 7th on the CWL YouTube. The Toronto Rush trailing 2-0. They put men on first and second with 1 out. Freddie Latenci singled through the middle. Johnson was hit by a pitch. That led manager Tom Vaith to lift Galatas from the game. Excellent over 6 1/3, just ran into a little bit of trouble. Jordan Schulafin, the new pitcher, as Austin De La Cruz fouls that one back into the screen, 0-1. Schulafin, he's been good working out of the bullpen. This is his 5th game, 7 total innings, an ERA of 2 on the dot. He's trying to pick up his first save of the season, needing 2 more big outs. The 0-1 goes to the curveball in there, 0-2 the count. The Bombers looking to turn 2 to end this ball game. The tying runs on base for the Rush, the winning run at the plate. Schulafin comes set. He deals the 0-2. Swung on and missed. He gets De La Cruz on 3 pitches, 2 outs in the last of the 7th. Both teams coming into today with a virtual tie at 3rd place in the Canadian division. Whoever loses will drop as the 4th seed at the moment, trying to avoid the 4-5 play-in game in the Canadian division. In there, strike 1 on the outside corner. Manuel Ochoa getting his first at bat after starting the game on the mound. He comes up empty on a fastball, up and in. He's hitting in Noah Lashley's spot, who took over on the mound, pitching the 6th and the 7th innings. Ochoa was excellent in his outing, but Galatas has just been a little bit better as the Rush down to their final strike. The 0-2 is fouled back into the bleachers. Schulafin tried a high fastball. Ochoa able to fight it off. As he gets a new baseball, he lathers it up the way he likes it. The outfield playing straight up. Schulafin comes set. Checks the runner once. The 0-2 again. Hit foul at home plate. Barely getting a piece of that is Ochoa.
Schulafin not afraid to just attack right here.
Tying runs on first and second. The winning run still at the plate for the Rush. Dangerous rally they got going against Galatas. Latenci singling and Johnson being hit by a pitch. That's where we stand. 2-0 Bombers. The 0-2 with 2 outs. On the outside corner, a called strike 3. Jordan Schulafin comes on to shut the door for the British Columbia Bombers in a massive win over the Toronto Rush. They come out on top 2-0. Schulafin able to secure the win on the mound for Nick Galatas. 6 1/3 shutout. Unbelievable effort in the start. Massive division win. Bombers move to 6-5-1 on the season, dropping the Rush to 5-6, putting themselves in a great position to avoid the 4-5 seed play-in game. Oh, tremendous game all the way around, ladies and gentlemen. Just barely hitting the hour-and-a-half mark. On behalf of Jacob Kronberg, I'm Evan Schmeiser, signing off for now on the California Winter League YouTube. We'll be back in just about 1 hour as the Manitoba North Stars will take on the Alberta Grizzly. Thanks so much, everyone.